Hey everyone, you should have your pink packet out. Turn to this page that says Day 3, Finding Your Equation. We got to look at it mathematically first before we can use our data, okay? So if you need to pause the video at any time, pause it, then pick back up when you're ready. Let's get started. All right, so to find an equation, the best way to do it, at least in the way that we're going to use it, is to pick 2 points and use what we know about equations to find the equation using those 2 points. The first step, step 1, is to calculate the slope of the line. We know how to do that. So here's 2 random points, -1, 1, or -1, -1, and 2, 5. We're going to use the slope formula. So remember, we plug in a big fraction bar, minus signs, parentheses. You should be following along. Pause the video as needed. So I'm going to use our good old strategy of x1, y1, x2, y2. Plug them in where they need to go. So on the top, that would be 5 minus -1. On the bottom, that would be 2 minus -1. Let's simplify. 5 minus -1. Well, that's really like 5 plus 1, so that's 6. And 2 minus -1 is like 2 plus 1, so that's 3. So I'm seeing a slope of 6/3, which I guess is just 3, huh? All right. Next step. This is where something new that we haven't done specifically yet. Pick a point and substitute or plug in for x and y in our slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. So we have the slope. It was 3. So there's 3. Oh, sorry, that was my phone. 3. I'm going to pick one of these points. It doesn't matter which point you pick. I'm going to pick the second one, 2, 5, because they're all positive. 5 is the y value, so we'll put 5 where the y would go in y equals mx plus b, and we'll put 2 where the x goes. And let's just simplify, or I think the next step, yeah, it says solve for b in the y-intercept. Some of this we could do in our head, like 5 equals 6 plus b, because 3 times 2 is 6. To solve for b, we got to get it alone by itself. So let's subtract 6 from both sides, cancel out, bring down the b. That's what we're solving for. 5 take away 6 is -1. So we have a y-intercept of -1. Again, pause the video if you need to go back and review or think about it for a bit. Last step is to write the equation in slope-intercept form. Remember, that's y equals mx plus b form. Well, we already just solved for the b, so we're going to have a -1 at the end. We already know the equation is going to have y equals something x plus b, in this case -1. We solved for the slope above, it was 3, so our equation is y equals 3x minus 1. Go ahead and graph it at the end. That's good practice. So remember, you start at -1, the y-intercept, and your slope is a whole number, so let's put it as 3/1, which means we go up 1, 2, 3/1, 1, 2, 3/1. We can go backwards, down 1, 2, 3/1. That's enough. I'm going to draw my best straight line through those. That's pretty good. Okay. If you need to rewind or pause and go back and listen through that again and take notes, do that. If you're good to go, I want you to pause the video, and before you go on, do the same process with these. Try it on your own, and then come back and watch the second half of the video and see how you did. Okay? So I'm going to pause for a second so you can pause and do the same thing with these 2 points. Okay? Pause. Okay, hopefully you paused. I'm going to do this pretty quick. Let's use blue because this was blue. First step, calculate the slope of the line. Well, m equals x1, y1, x2, y2, plug in the parentheses before we do the numbers. Y2 is -3, Y1 is 6, X2 is 8, and X1 is -4. Doing a little math, -3, take away 6 more, that's -9. Remember, you go more negative. And 8 minus -4, well, that's plus. So that would give us 8 plus 4 is 12. Reduce a little bit, I'm seeing a slope of negative. It's going to be negative. A number that goes into 9 and 12 is 3. So 3/4. Slope's -3/4. Down 3 over 4. Step 2, pick a point and substitute it in. We got 2 points to pick from last time. We picked 2, 5 because they're both positive. In this case, the one's positive, one's negative. So let's just pick the first point, okay? I'm going to set it up the same way as we did over here. Blank equals blank times blank plus b. Remember, this is going to be your y equals mx plus b. Okay, for the y, that would be 6 if I'm using the first point. If you use the second point, that's okay. We should get the same answer. Our slope is -3/4, and the x of that same coordinate is -4. Okay. Remember, you can pause at any time. Let's scroll down, solve for b. Well, let's see. Bring down the same thing that we had. This one we might need a little more scratch work because -3/4 times -4, well, a negative times a negative, that's positive. We know that. So we know our answer is going to be positive. We'll do a little scratch work over here. Some of you might already be able to do it in your head. -3/4 times -4. Remember, you can put it over 1, multiply straight across. And I'm seeing -3 times -4 is 12. And 4 times 1 is 4, which reduces to a slope, a result, not a slope. We already found the slope. Result of 3. So, in our equation then, let's go back here. 3 plus b. This stuff gave us 3. Solve for b, that just means -3 on each side. Y-intercept, or b, is 3. Okay, easy part, write it as in slope-intercept form. That means y equals mx plus b. We said the slope was -3/4 x plus 3. Hard work's done. Let's just graph it. It's good practice to graph. We haven't done it in a little bit, so remember, you go start at 1, 2, 3. Start at 3, the y-intercept. In this case, we're going down 3. 1, 2, 3, over 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do it again. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to go the other way too. So up, 1, 2, 3, back or to the left, 4, enough till I got a straight line. Oh, this is going to be hard to do a straight line. Here we go. That's not too bad. There you go. Okay, that's video 1. Pause there. We're going to do some more practice like this throughout the next coming weeks, especially after our project's done. If you're done here, check in with your group, see how they feel about this, and then come back and click on the second video on Google Classroom that'll apply to our balloon bungee project. Go.